Yo, Roach v Zepada. I think Roach was winning the first 2 rounds. I think Zepada was showing him way too much respect, giving him way too much time to get his shots off. I think after that, Zepada just stepped up the pace. He was right in his face. He weren't giving him time to do anything. And he just overwhelmed him with punches. I think he started to hurt him to the body as well. Definitely hurt Roach to the body. I think Roach was still in the fight though. He was still catching Zepada with the odd pot shot here and there within, but he weren't doing enough. You weren't landing enough to win the rounds after round 2 for me. And I think that's due to Zepada's superior footwork. He has superior footwork. And he also had, obviously, the output, but it was more controlled. His output was more controlled. It was still, still accumulative punches, of course, in Zepada style, but it was controlled. It was still pressure, but it was controlled pressure. Until he started to hurt Roach to the body. I think once he started to hurt Roach to the body, he started to just all the way just walk him down, basically, and just apply that pressure. So yeah, man, I think Roach showed his toughness to stay in there for the 12 rounds and not go down. And yeah, Zepada, I think, well-deserved champion at 135. And to be honest, I'm going to talk about the co-main event, but for me, there was a clear gap in levels between the co-main and the main. And that was surprising to me. That was surprising to me because I didn't think... I thought I would see a more entertaining fight in the Roach Zepada fight over the Muratalla and Conceciao. But I thought levels-wise, the Muratalla Conceição, I thought I might see a higher level of boxing in that fight, but I don't think I did. So let's move on to that now. The Muratalla wins unanimous decision over Conceição, who come on like 37 years old, coming up from 130. Definitely didn't look like the fighter that he used to be. And even the fighter that he used to be, when he got to those kind of top fights, he more often than not fell short. So now at 37 and moving up to 135, for me, it was never going to be... He was never going to win it, but I thought it might be more competitive than it was. And I definitely thought the levels overall, the level of boxing in this one would be slightly higher, but I was a little bit disappointed, man. So yeah, it wasn't competitive. To be honest, Muratalla probably took too many shots, probably took more shots than he should have, more shots than he needed, but I get it. He was trying to get the KO. He was trying to like make a statement. But in the end, Conceição survived. He survived to see the 12th round. But yeah, unanimous decision. I think maybe you could give Conceição 1 round. Maybe. So yeah, I think, yeah, that was surprising to me to see that there was a clear difference in levels. Like when I watched the Roach Zepada fight, clear difference in levels. So yeah, what next? What next for Roach? What next for Zepada? I think Roach is gonna have to go down and kind of work his way up back to a title shot. If he stays at 135, of course, even if he goes up to 140. But then Zepada, who do you want to see? Who deserves a title shot at Zepada? Should it be a unification with Zepada and Muratalla? I think Conceição needs to go back down to 130 if he wants to carry on fighting, go back down to 130. But Muratalla, is he going to stay at 135 and keep his belts, or is he going to move up to 140? If he stays at 135, who do you see? Who would you like to see him in with? If he goes up to 140, who would you like to see him fight? Let me know in the comments, guys. Moving on, though. Moving on to the big news over this weekend, yeah? About Keyshawn Davis pulling out of the fight against Devin Haney. Now, I got to give a shout out to Radio Raheem, yeah, who called it, got it spot on. I saw his take and I just I mentioned it to a few people, but I never really thought it would come to fruition, but it did. It did. Like Radio Raheem said, don't be surprised if the businessman actually does the businessman move, which would be to walk away from the fight. I didn't understand that first, but then he went into the contract that he's got with Top Rank, where if you were to win against Devin Haney, there'll be an automatic renewal, an automatic extension of the contract. And obviously he's in his last 1 or 2 fights at the moment. So obviously there's bigger offers getting made elsewhere. So Radio Raheem said, don't be surprised if he walks away from the fight in order not to get that contract extension. Now don't get me wrong. I think if he got the money which he was looking for, I think he was willing to take that risk and go, and not in terms of fighting Haney, but take that risk in terms of if he wins, getting that contract extension. He was willing to do that if he got the money he was looking for. But if not, from what Radio Raheem says, and it all turned out to be true, he was more than willing to walk away as well. And then, you know, have his last 1 or 2 fights and then go and sign a bigger deal. So with that being said, where's Keyshawn going to go from here? For me, I like to see him in with Norman. Brian Norman, they're both Top Rank. I like to see that fight. Let me know if you agree in the comments, or if you've got a different fight in mind, let me know as well. So let's move on to Dev. Now, I think Dev, people say Dev's in a great position. I think he's in a great position down the line. But as of right now, I think he's in a bit of a sticky position, because unless he's going to take the catchweight option to fight Shakur, who does he fight? There's no fighters right now available. There's either fighters have either just fought, or they've got an upcoming fight already lined up in the 147 division. So who does he fight? Like, he's not going to spin the block with Norman. Conor Ben and Garcia are tied up. Teofimo and Rolly are tied up. He can't even wait until these fighters fight and then rest and then, you know what I mean, another 6 months, 5-6 months. He can't wait. He's already been a year out of the ring. So who does he get in there with? Does he have to drop down to, you know, and fight the likes of a Catru, or even Poro fought not long ago? That's still gonna be a down the line fight. Right now, really and truly, his options are spin the block with Norman, fight Catru, or do the catchweight fight with Shakur. And let me know what you think in the comments. Where do you think Dev should go from here, man? Moving on to Shakur. Obviously signed his deal with Zuffa. He said he's willing to fight in a 140 division. He's willing to go down to 135 for the big fights, which we know he's basically saying Tank. If there's a big fight with Tank down there, he's willing to fight down there at 135. If not, he's going to stay at 140. So who's Shakur's next fight? Is it Anton Russell? For me, I would want Shakur to clean out the 140 division until Tank's back active. There's never any point waiting on Tank, because you just don't know what's going to happen. So just clean out the 140 division. Get the Russell fight, Dalton Smith. Get all the belts at 140. And then when Tank's back fighting, then yeah, make that fight, whether it's at 135, 140, or a catchweight in between. Make that fight. And then for me, when he grows, he hasn't even grown into 140 yet. His first fight at 140 against Teo, he came in at like 138 something. So for me, grow into 140, move up to 147, and then fight Dev. Because I don't want to hear no excuses when that fight happens. So, of course, I would never say no to the catchweight fight. But if I had my way, I would want them to fight when they're in the same weight category. I don't want, if Dev loses, I don't want the narrative to be, you know, well, he bowed down to get to the catchweight, so he wasn't at his best. And I don't want the narrative, if Shakur loses, to be, Dev was too big. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Love.